Alright, so guys, yes, welcome back to our channel. So today I'll be doing a deeper dive into this movie that's on Netflix called The Monsters. I don't know, but this movie, it just gets to me. So I just feel like I have to give my views on it. Um, First of all, I didn't even know about the Menendez brothers case until I watched this movie called The Monsters on Netflix. So this whole movie is about two brothers, Joseph Lyle Menendez and Erik Menendez. They were two American brothers who were convicted in 1996 of the murders of their parents, Jose and Mary, also called Kitty Menendez. But it's the whole story behind the murder that actually gets to me why I have to give my views. Um, During their trial, the brothers first stated that they committed the murders out of fear that their father would kill them after they threatened to expose them for years of sexual, emotional, and physical abuse, while the prosecution argued that they did it to inherit their father's multi-million-dollar estate. They were first tried separately with one jury for each brother. However, both juries deadlocked, resulting in mistrials. For the second trial, they were tried together by a single jury that found them guilty after the judge excluded evidence of abuse from their defense. Both brothers were sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. All right. So from this movie now, Netflix hear this movie, right? So the movie, I don't know how it's based off a true it would be a true story. It's based from the case that actually happened, right? But when you actually hear the brothers giving their testimony, the real account, not even the one that's in the movie. Because since this movie now, I start doing my own research and looking into the matter a little deeper. Because as much as I don't condone crime, I don't condone abuse of any nature, and especially to a child. So the boys, well, they are men now, but back then, because Erik is now 50 and Lyle is 53 years old now. So they have served 35 years in prison so far. But their story is sad. No child should go through abuse of any nature, right? Um, I think the thing is, the parents, they were shot multiple times, about 14 times. But you have in a situation where you're tired and it reached a point where you just snap. So to me, these boys, um, they they got tired of the situation and at the end they snapped. At one, we live in a society where boys, it seems like boys cannot be sexually abused. I remember even a section in the movie. Um, I don't know if it's the lawyer that was saying. I bet you if it was the case between Erica and Lila, it would have been different. But because they are boys, it's like boys can't be molested, right? Um, so and I think that was one of the reasons as well why they didn't want to come forward with this incident. because they were embarrassed. And just like now, they came forward and told their truth, and nobody believed them. So that's why they invented the same, I believe. That's why they invented the initial that it was a mafia who killed them. Because if they had killed them and then, okay, just come forward to the police and say, I killed them because they were molesting me, nobody still would believe them, right? Nobody still would believe them. Because in the end, they still gave their story and it still didn't make any sense. I remembered in even one scene, somebody was saying, so why didn't they run away or go to the police about the whole abuse? But I'm thinking to myself, not until you are in a person's shoes can you really know what a person is going through. Because if you have been sexually abused from the age of 6, that's what the boy said, from the age of 6. They must have been traumatized and tired. And it wasn't, well, Lyle, he was putting up with it, but when he found out that he was doing the same thing to his brother, that was the breaking point for him. But then again, um, nobody had anything nice to say about Ose. Nobody. They all knew that he was a violent man. And they all knew that he treated the boys poorly. So that part wasn't in question as to whether he was a nice person or not. Right? So what would you have done then? I don't support crime and I don't support abuse. But as a child coming up being abused, wouldn't you be traumatized? What's your views? So I heard somebody saying, why didn't they run away? Run away to where? When he was such a powerful and rich man back then, he would have come up with some story to say the boys were lying. And if the boys even went to the police back then, what would have come out of it? Absolutely nothing. Because he must have had links. So if the boys went to the police that, oh, my father was molesting me, that would just you know, like be erased, like no complaint was even being made. Because he was a very powerful and rich man. So them going to the police back then wouldn't have made a difference. Them running away wouldn't have made a difference because he could have found them anywhere and he would have made their life even harder, right? In the movie that they depicted, like at one point, Erik was having a conversation with him, and he it's like he didn't agree with what Erik was saying. And you know what he did? He got so angry, and I see him carry Erik go up in a room, and you know what he went in there to do to him. So you can imagine them going to the police and he hearing back about all of this. It would have been worse for them. You understand? So sometimes, like I said, not until you're in a person's shoes. But um, to say that they are lying, we can't, not in a position to judge and say that they are lying. I don't believe that they were lying. They must have been, yes. The other point I must make mention of is the mother. The mother, she is an embarrassment to be even called a mother. Normally, some mothers' natural instinct, as a mother, is to always protect your children. even from fathers or whatever. But this mother, she wasn't a mother at all. She knew that the father was molesting her children and she didn't even care. There is even a clip where some lady that was living in the house at the time, she said she couldn't take it anymore, so she had to leave. She said that I think Lyle came to her and was telling her about the thing, and she went and spoke to the mother, and all the mother did was grab Lyle arm and carry him upstairs hungry, you know? So she was putting up with the slackness as well. So they have spent 35 years in prison so far. Yes. And I think they said new evidence have now surfaced because Erik, he wrote a letter um about he wrote a letter. Poor thing had gotten so tired of it all. Tired of the abuse. This is what the letter said. I've been trying to avoid that. It's still happening, Andy, but it's worse for me now. I can't explain it. He's so overweight that I can't stand to see him. I never know when it's going to happen and it's driving me crazy. And the letter goes on. I will put the letter on the screen so you will see it on the next. You will see it afterwards. But the letter continues. At one point, he even said, I can't handle it. So, not everybody mental health is so strong to put up with this kind of abuse. And I'm telling you, it was very graphic. Some things I can't even mention. Some of the things that Erik said the man did to him is inhumane. Inhumane, right? So I can't even speak about some of the atrocious things because it is too graphic. But I'll hear some of the clips and you'll see what this man did. Cause is he wasn't a nice man based on the stories. He was not nice. And if he did do these things to these boys, where is the justice? Right? So that's my views. What are your views? What do you think about the whole Menendez case? Yes, the boys have been to prison for 35 years for killing, for the murders. They have done their time. But they were victims as well. So, yeah, they were victims as well. And this now, when other young persons are watching um, this, to them, they are not going to want to come forward, you know. They are not going to want to come forward, especially if they are boys, because nobody is going to believe what they are saying. I think in the first instance, when the boys went on that shopping spree after the incident, that wasn't a good look. So I know that part, but I'm focusing on the abuse section. We can't dispute because there are evidence to show that they were actually abused. So it's not like it's only their words, but there were evidence that they were actually being abused. The letter to Andy, that's one main evidence that they were abused. So what are your thoughts?